Hey, what's up my Dragon Legion? Hi y'all been? So hello Dragoons, today we are going to be doing a CardFight Vanguard deck profile today, and for this deck profile, it's going to be a special deck profile that I think quite a bit of you Dragoons, or these Dragoons who like Vanguard at least, have been waiting for quite some time. And it did take me a little bit longer than how most people would normally do this together, but nonetheless, I finally got it together, and that is my Kagero Rebirth deck profile. Now, this is a build that I've been really liking for quite some time, ever since the anime first debuted this card. And as a diehard Kagero lover and a diehard Dragon Overlord lover, when I first saw this thing as an actual thing, I was like, oh my god, I can't wait for this to be a thing. And here it is. It took me a while, and I got the build together. Now, the build is not yet finalized. I'm not gonna lie, I did look up other people's deck profiles, see how they do it, how they're currently doing their Rebirth build, but there are some things I do have a good plan for. There are some things I'm gonna work out here and there, and yeah, I think this deck is gonna be really fantastic, and it's gonna be an absolute joy to play around in the hands of a right Kagero player, in my opinion. So, really fun deck, and there are some people out there who don't know how Kagero Rebirth works fully yet. So this video might be a little bit longer due to the fact that I'll explain some few things, especially the new cards in particular. So you may want to fast forward or just read the description down below if you want to just read the deck list, all that such. But nonetheless, I'll get right straight to the deck right now. And yeah, show you Dragoons how I'm currently playing my Kagero Rebirth deck profile. Alright, so here we go. Start out with your starting Vanguard, one copy of one Red Pulse Dracokid. Now, as I said before, Conroe's banned, so we gotta use this guy right here. But this guy is actually not a bad substitute for Conroe. For those who do not know what Red Pulse Dracokid, all he is a typical Forerunner where you count less one, pull and soul your Vanguard, and look at the top 5 cards of deck, and take a grade 3 among them and put your hand, shuffle your deck, put the rest back to the deck, shuffle your deck, etc. etc. Red Pulse Dracokid is actually pretty useful. Only twice so far have I not got grade 3 out of him, and I've played Red Pulse Dracokid as of now 20 times so far, and again only twice did I not ever get a grade 3 out of Red Pulse Dracokid. So Dracokid is actually pretty useful, and he can help you sell some huge plays and in the hands of the right player. So yeah. So that's my starting Vanguard. For the trigger lineup, we have, of course, the 4 heals, because it's your heal triggers. I don't think I need to explain why this is so important. Got your 4 heals. Now, I think a lot of you Dragoons might actually know my trigger lineup right about now, because I think you Dragoons have been watching my videos for quite some time. But for those who do not watch my videos too often, my favorite trigger lineup is normally this right here, and that is the 6 draw and 6 critical lineup right here. Now, this is my favorite lineup of all other trigger lineups. For those who do not know, the reason why I like this lineup over the 8 critical. Sorry, that's my Stephalos radio. For those who do not know why I do this right here is I want to be aggressive and be able to inflict in as much damage as my opponent as I possibly can, like how most people like to when they play 8 critical 4 draw. Miss it, stop. But I like playing 6 critical and 6 draw over the 8-4. Because I want to be aggressive and be able to inflict as much damage to my opponent as much as I possibly can, but I still want to be on defensive and be able to draw into my stuff as fast as I possibly can. So this lineup right here is actually very important to me when I do my stuff right here. So this keeps me in equal balance right here. And as for my choice of triggers, I choose 2 copies of these guys and 4 copies of Gattling Claws, because some of the new cards in particular I'm now playing do require me to do a Soul Blast. So these guys help me out with my Soul Blast abilities a little bit well. Like, not fantastically well, but I mean, it's not really full on needed. But the fact that I can have these guys near me when I need extra cards to Soul Blast does actually help me out quite a bit. So I'll explain how useful these guys can be. Missing, stop! Sorry for my pug. Watch out for pugs, Dragoons. Bugs are crazy. So that's my trigger lineup. For the grade 1 lineup, we have, of course, the 4 perfect guards, because they're your perfect guards. Now, as I was told as we now know, Kagero now has something called most other decks, of course, now has something called a Quinton Wall. Now, for those who do not know what a Quinton Wall is is also a perfect guard. It's a, what's it called again? A Sentinel. So yeah, it's a Sentinel, so you're going to max out 4 Sentinels instead. You're only allowed 4 Sentinels. So you're only on 4 of those guys, 4 of these guys, etc., etc., however you want to play it. What Quinton Wall does is you counterblast 1, call the Guardian Circle, and top 5 cards of your deck go to the Guardian Circle, and they guard up as well. Now, this is actually pretty good because it actually helps out with some things that the deck can revolve around. But at the same time, I'm also not really too fond of this idea because you're using quite a bit of resources just to block out one attack. So I'll have to ponder real hard if I really want to do the whole Quitting Wall thing. But for right now, I think the standard 4 perfect guards is all that's really necessary right now at the moment. So we've got the 4 perfect guards, and then 3 copies of Volcanic Horn Dragon. For what he does, for those who do not know, is he's a special grade 1 attacker. If your Vanguard has the word Overlord in his name, he swings and gets additional, and while he's attacking, he gets additional 3,000 power, making him a 10,000 attacker. Now, it's definitely a big, huge step up over Bar. Now, he's not as great booster as Bar, but unlike Bar, if you have to resort to attacking him alone, he can actually take out some grade 2s. So I'm not saying Bar is obsolete, even though I'm not playing Bar right now at the moment. But there are some good advantages cards like these have over... Sorry, I'm not sure. There are some few advantages that cards like Bar has over... Yeah, over Bar. So these guys definitely boost you up. These guys give you the ability to help you do some crazy things. So yeah, Burning Horn helps you... Volcanic Horn, pardon me, helps you get over some things. So, which is always pretty good. Oop, longest pile. And next we play 3 copies of Eternal Brigade Griffin. Now what he does is, when I first call him the Guardian Circle, while I have a Kagero Vanguard, I can pitch a grade 3 Vanguard. When I do so I can add a Dragonic Overlord from my deck to my hand. Now, this definitely helps out because if I have an extra Overlord in my hand, I can pitch that Overlord to the drop zone so I can thin out my deck so I don't dead draw into an extra Overlord that I don't need. He's a 7k booster, so it does actually help out pretty well after that. And yeah, he definitely helps out with other combos that this deck could definitely use up as well, which definitely helps out a little bit, which I'll get to a little bit soon. But the fact that Griffin can just search out a Dragonic Overlord is just ridiculously good and useful. So 3 Griffins is definitely something I do recommend. Maybe 4. I've seen some people do 4. I would do 4, but I haven't really found room for the 4th one yet. But for right now, I'm sticking with 3. And next we're playing 3 copies of Dragon Monk Gojo. Gojo, he's definitely really good in this deck right here because you're playing a deck that involves locking out your own rear guards, just like Dauntless Reverse and Eradicate Reverse first. So when you use this ability to pitch rest him, pitch a card, draw a card in a small way, it's pretty much a free lock right there. Like, he's not really going to do anything once you use his ability to rest him anyways. So locking him is not really going to phase you at all when you do that such. So Dragon Monk Gojo definitely helps you out with some occasion plays that you're trying to do, and he helps you ditch cards that you don't need and help you get your other resources going on. And also he helps out with another thing, just like Griffin, he helps you out with another certain particular card that he can also help out with, which again I will get to very shortly, just a few minutes. So yeah, 3 Dragon Monk Gojos, and last with the Grade 1 lineups, another new addition to this deck, that is one Tower Wyvern. Tower Wyvern, he's pretty much Rising Phoenix for this deck right here. Soul Blast 2, draw a card. This is him, along with a 1 Grade 2 in particular that I'll get to very shortly, is the reason why my draw triggers are the way they are. So this guy right here, the fact that you can just call him and get a free draw is actually very handy and helps you get to a little bit closer to what you need when being around certain sticky situations. And since he's only 5,000 power, locking him will not even really phase your deck at all when you do things like that. So 1 Tower Wyvern is always pretty good when things like that come up. And that is my Grade 1 lineup. For the Grade 2 lineup, we have max copies of Burning Horn Dragon. Since your ideal Vanguard guard is going to be Overlord once your Vanguard's Grade 3, unlike Dauntless Dote, your Vanguard will be Overlord as long as your Vanguard's Grade 3. So maxing out his Burning Horn, unlike Dauntless Dote, is actually a necessary thing to do, actually. Burning Horn, he's just your typical 12k attacker, and yeah, he just helps you get around some good stuff. And if Bar was in this deck, with him being boosted by Bar, you could just run over some serious huge amount of rear guards or force your opponent with using up some huge amount of resources, which is like insanely good. And now here's 4 copies of a card I'm now playing. Here's also a new addition of this deck right here, and that is 4 copies of Dragonic Burnout. One of the new additions of this deck right here. And in my opinion, Berserk Dragon is no longer my favorite grade 2. Dragonic Burnout is now my favorite grade 2. Now, for those who don't know what Dragonic Burnout does, he has Soul Blast 1. When this unit is placed on the rearguard circle, if you have a Kagero Vanguard, you may choose a card with Overlord and its card name from your drop zone and put it at the bottom of your deck. If you pull a card from the bottom of your deck this way, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's rearguards and retire it. Now, this is definitely very good because now and then you will end up going to situations or be put in situations where you will end up putting your Overlord in the drop zone, whether it's a Quentin Wall, if you choose to use Quentin Wall, Griffin, or anything else as such, or even a Dragonmon Gojo, and this guy helps you make up for that fantastically. And unlike Berserk Dragon, not only he does not make you use up your counterblast cards and your damage, but also at the same time, unlike Berserk Dragon where he's going to kill grade 2 or less rear guards, Dragonic Burnout can kill any rear guard regardless of what grade it is. So rather your opponent's got an annoying back row booster or front row powerhouse guy that you want to take out, as long as you have an Overlord in your drop zone and a card that you're willing to Soul Blast, this guy right here will take care of the problem immediately. So Burnout is a great, fantastic card. And then to finish off the grade 2 lineup, we have 3 copies of Velocity Dragon. Now, Velocity Dragon, he's probably not really too needed as I thought he's going to be. Not too many cards in my deck really needs counterblasting besides the grade 3 or the draw triggers if I end up using draw triggers, whatever. But the fact that he can put my card face down, face up damage, so I can have more resources to do my stuff, is always pretty handy, and it can help me get around some of the lost sticky situations. So Velocity Dragon can definitely get around some things. Although I will admit I've had thoughts about taking out Velocity Dragon to put in the Hunger Hell Dragons just because they're grade 2 10k vanillas, and with knowing the fact that the draw triggers and my Overlords are the only cards of the entire deck that actually requires counterblasting, I may not really need the Velocity Dragons really too much. So I may end up taking out the 3 Velocity Dragons and putting in the 3 Hunger Hell Dragons. I'm not really sure yet. I'll have to think about that real hard. Because it's been a really long time, not counting Lawkeeper, it's been a really long time since I've played a Kagero deck without Velocity Dragon. So I'll have to think about this really hard and well when I do that kind of stuff. And that is it for the grade 2 lineup. For the grade 3 lineup, now this is where things get really interesting. Here is 4 copies of Dragonic Overlord. Not the Overlord that we've been used to since the beginning of the game, but this is a new reprint, this is a new edition Overlord, the new Break Ride version of Dragonic Overlord. Now for those who do not know who he is, for those who do not know who he is, first of all, one thing I want to say real quick is, before I say the rules of whatever such, rules. First of all, since his name is Dragonic Overlord, you cannot max out with these guys and still have max copies of the original Overlord. Since his name is Dragonic Overlord, you can only have 4 of these guys, or 4 of the other guys, or split down the middle between how you decide with those 4 guys. So you can't have max out these guys and max out regular Dragonic Overlords, because this guy is technically Dragonic Overlord. Now, how this Dragonic Overlord works is pretty much a new Break Ride Overlord. This Dragonic Overlord says, Limit Break 4, when a Kagero rises unit, choose your Vanguard, and that unit gets until end of turn, gets 10,000 power, and the following ability. Counterblast 1, choose a Kagero from your hand and discard it. At the end of the battle of this unit and attack their rear guard, you may pay the cost. If you do, stand as unit. This ability cannot be used for the rest of this turn. Even if you do not pay the cost, this ability cannot be used for the rest of the turn. So, yes. So what this means is during the turn that you ride your Kagero Vanguard on top of him, that Vanguard will get the ability of, when he battles a rear guard, and you just counterblast a card and just pitch a card from your hand, and boom, you can just stand your Vanguard right back up. So in a way, it's kind of like old school Dragonic Overlord, but very minimum cost, and depending on who's riding him, you can practically go for a 3rd attack, which is just really insane. Like old school Overlord, at least his attack has to be a hit in order you can stand back up. This guy, it doesn't matter if his attack is a hit or not. As long as your attack was attacking a rear guard and you choose to use the ability after it's done battling rear guard, it could stand right back up regardless if the rearguard won the battle or not. So this guy right here helps you get around some huge amount of huge problems, and this guy makes your Vanguard very ridiculously powerful. And speaking of your Vanguard, here's max copies of your ideal Vanguard, and that is 4 copies of Dragon Overlord, the Rebirth, the new addition to the Overlord family. Now, for those who do not know what Rebirth does, Rebirth has limit break 4. Limit break 4. Choose counterblast 1 and choose one or more of your Kagero rearguards and lock them. If the number of lock cards you have is 5 or more, until end of turn this unit gets plus 10,000 power and a following ability. Choose 2 Kagero from your hand and discard them. At the end of the battle, this unit attack the Vanguard. You may pay the cost. If you do, stand this unit. This ability cannot be used for the rest of the turn. Even if you do not pay the cost, this ability cannot be used for the rest of the turn. The locked card is turned face down and cannot do anything. It turns face up at the end of the owner's turn. Also, if you have the word Dragon Overlord in the card of its card, so it gains 2,000 power. Otherwise, cross-ride. Now this guy right here is just insanely good. Now in order to pull off his ability, you kind of have to really commit to his ability really well. Like, you have to call 5 rear guards on your board, lock them, and when you lock all 5 rear guards, you get his full-on ability, and that's where things get out of hand right here. Now, if you don't cross-ride with him on top of this Overlord, it's not the end of the world. He can still get around some huge sticky situations, and he can still powerhouse through some things. But when you break ride Dragon Overlord with Dragon Overlord Rebirth, oh my god, your Rebirth will be swinging at your opponent's Vanguard 3 times with the potential ability to attack 3 times while having 33,000 power, and he'll have triple twin drive. So there is a huge, very likely possibility that you may end up hitting into at least 1 critical trigger, and eventually your attack may be hit at least once, and depending on what you get on your drive checks, you can seriously deal some huge, massive damage to your opponent. Now, this is the type of guy that you want to not take lightly. Like, he's not as useful as Dragon Overlord, the new Break Ride card, but again, in the hands of the right person, he can just get in there very well, and he can just tear the field up like there's no tomorrow. So that's my Rebirth deck profile right there, Dragoons. Now, there are some things I'm going to work out here and there, and there are some things I'm going to work out. As I said, I may take out Biella Dragon, just put in 3 copies of Hunger Hell Dragon, just because I don't really need counterblasting too much. So yeah, I may end up doing so. Also, speaking of draw triggers, I may take out 2 copies of Gattling Claw Dragons to put in 2 more copies of Steel Dragon Equalic, if I said his name right. Just because Equalic actually doesn't require counterblasting, and I can just put in the soul right there, so I can have more cards to Soul Blast. So yeah, Dragon Overlord or Rebirth is, well, a heavy-duty, nasty deck in the hands of the right player. And this is something I think I'd really enjoy playing. And maybe if I have extra time, I may actually get an opportunity to play this deck around and show you Dragoons how I play this deck around. And either you all will laugh at me and call me noob because of how funny I'll be doing stuff, or you Dragoons will be impressed of how the deck works. So with that being said, let me know what you Dragoons think about this deck profile in the comment section down below. And I'll see you Dragoons around. Hope you Dragoons enjoyed this video. Please leave a like and a favorite if you did, and share this video with other people. It really helps out a little bit. And subscribe today to become part of the Dragon Legion Alliance. And I'll see you Dragoons another day. Christian Dragoon, signing out. Peace.